Hi everybody, and welcome back to Junk Journal Gems. I am Lisa and I'm continuing on from my last video, and I am assembling all of the mixed media elements onto the book cover. Just to reiterate what we talked about the last time, this is a book cover where I've already gutted out the signatures inside, and I selected a variety of different things to pull together on the cover. Now, one of the things that I knew that I wanted to do off the bat was I wanted to cover this image it's all scratched up and it's a little somber looking, so I knew I didn't want to go on with that. So I selected a piece of light cardstock and I cut it to size to fit inside of this embossed frame here. And it fits in there perfectly. I did already do some of my inking and prep that you will see along the way. Otherwise, this would be, oh my goodness, just a crazy long video. But I'll explain to you everything that I did. I hope that you are having a good day. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you continue to subscribe and follow the Junk Journal Gems channel. If you've been with me before, thanks for coming back. Hope you're doing well. This is just art glitter glue that I am using to put this piece of cardstock down on the cover. Let me put my needle in here before I lose it and forget to put it in and then have dried glue. That wouldn't be any good. Okay, here, hold on a second. Okay. So let's put this back on. I chose this particular pattern because I thought it was subtle enough for the background, but still to give a little bit of interest. Now with art glitter glue, I'm trying to loosely put this down a little bit because art glitter glue has very little give time. So it adheres very quickly, which is nice because then you can continue on with the rest of your project. So that's the first piece. This is the background. The next piece that I did was I took a piece of Tim Holtz cardstock that I thought coordinated quite nicely with this background, and I cut it out using the tab punch board. And I created on this a large size tab because I knew that I wanted to try to put a phrase on it or letters or something. So this is going to become a booklet on here, and we will first assemble the booklet. But I want to just eyeball the positioning on here a little bit. All right, so let me get this out of the way for us as much as I can and create a little bit of room without disturbing everything. This is my the book that I use to punch my signature holes in. And this is what I use for a pokey tool. It's actually an eyeglass repair screwdriver. And then I'm going to get out my needles and a few of these binder clips. I think I'll use this needle right here. I've had a magnet in here at some point and it keeps sticking to everything, which is kind of good because then things don't take off on me. I don't know what's magnified though, or whatever was at some point. So here are the signatures. All that I did was I took some coffee dyed paper, and I think this is 30-pound paper, so it's nice and thick and it's nice and yummy grungy. but I cut it to fit the size of this. Now, I'm not giving dimensions on this because the likelihood is that if you give this project a try, your book cover is not going to be identical to mine, and it likely is going to be a different size, so you might need to make a different size file folder to fit your book. Mine happens to be right around 8 inches high and roughly about 3 inches wide. I think it's a little bit more generous than that, but that's why I'm not going crazy on giving you dimensions, because it's highly unlikely you'll have exactly the same book and supplies as I. But you'll get the general idea on how to figure this out so you can make one yourself. And now I'm already seeing, which I didn't spot that before, this corner is rounded, so that's going to poke out a little bit. So I think what I will do is round the corners of these. Here's my corner rounder. We'll just do that. I'm glad I saw that first. Whoops. I am having a great day. I'm so happy today. I have no headache and been enjoying the day. My husband and I were cleaning house earlier, and we were watching Big Ten wrestling on TV. Okay, so let's go back. That's perfect. All right, we're in business. See, it's no longer peeking out. So I'm going to clip this back down like I started out doing. And I'm not going and making a template for poking my holes, blah, 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 because this is just a little file folder. So I'm not getting all cray-cray about it. So all that I am going to do is take this, and I'm going to do just a 3-hole pamphlet. Whoa, wrong thing, Lise. Just a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Hole number 1, hole number 2, we'll do about there. And hole number 3, about the same depth from the bottom. Put that back. Now we get to keep our clips on here because it will still keep our pages all together while we sew the signature in. And this time, because I'm not sewing in a whole book, I'm not going to use my wax thread. This time I am using crochet thread. I don't know like what the real name of it is because I am not a crochet person. So you definitely don't want me giving you crochet advice. I just sometimes pick this thread up at, hold on. I had stuff falling everywhere in my little bucket where I keep all of my signature sewing supplies. But I just picked this up at thrift stores. It seems like there's a never-ending abundance of them. So I do this times 3 lengths, snip it, get this put back away. And the other thing is, because I'm making this journal to be kind of grungy and very mixed media feel, I like that this has a more rustic look to it. If I can thread the needle there. Sometimes that's half the battle. All right, so what I do is I go in from the middle, back up from the top, making sure I'm pulling that tight, and I keep my finger held on there. Come back in the middle, up through the bottom. Woohoo! Pulled it just a little too tight. Got a little ahead of myself. There we go. Now, I hold this out of the way, and I come back through, and when I do that, I'm still holding this so it's not going away on me. I like to come around this last one and then come back through, because that secures it. So now we've got it all the way through. I can take my needle out. Before you tie it off, just do a last check to make sure everything is taut. And then make your knot. I triple knot it just because it makes me feel comfortable, like it's really gonna stay. I don't know that the third one is necessary. It just makes me feel better. Okay, whoop, and that is going to get snipped off. All right, so now we can move or remove our binder clips. That goes back in my jar, and everything is back in my little bookbinding tub for the next journal, or for when I sew the signatures in. So now we've got our little pamphlet all ready to rumble. Oops, don't need that. And now, get things back over here. I feel like I have things everywhere. I was just working on another project, so that will come there like so. So now we can glue that down. Now, I'm going to glue the entire thing down. You don't have to. You can glue this down only on 3 sides of the back so that you have a pocket, or you could do that here if you wanted to, or even back here. It's totally up to you. You're the maker. You do you. For this particular journal, I'm just going to glue the whole thing down. And I don't know why I'm choosing this right now. I just am. This glue, I mean. And this glue is Fabri-Tac. Oh my goodness, one of our dogs is outside, and I don't know if she wants to come in or if she's just woofing at other things she thinks she hears out there. This Makers Guild box, oh, I should jump back on that a little bit. This project came about because I purchased from Sacred Mementos, which you can find either on Facebook, or I will link the YouTube site for Sacred Mementos. And Patty is the person who has Sacred Mementos, and she sells these Makers Guild boxes. May not be a box every time, but this time it was. And what you do is you get a variety of things in the box. Go back and look at my last video if you want to see what all was in the box. But she has a wide assortment of lovely things in the box. And you make a project with it and post it to Makers Guild. So you can see what everybody's made with the boxes as we go along. So it's a really fun project, and I think that it was a super good idea. So now, let me get this over here, front and center. We have this, and now I was able to spell out a word with the little Scrabble tiles. And we'll just put down the word pen. I think that will be good there. So I got a new glue for this, not specifically for this project. I had an antique frame that needs a little repair. So I'm going to use this on that as well. But this is Gorilla Super Glue Gel. I'm going to use it for the wood pieces because the glue that I usually have. It's not E6000, but it's like E6000. But it's kind of running out, and I didn't want to deal with it. Plus, what I liked about this glue is it's a gel, and it is run and drip control, if you can get it out of the bottle. Is there a trick to this I don't know about? Directions. With cabinet products, shake. Well, I missed that part entirely. We're going to shake it, I guess, first. Oh, now I hear it sloshing around. It just needed a giddy up and go. I love how these colors all play off each other and make it look very old. See, look at it with the spine. Fun. Okay, that seems to be pretty good. So, and then turn upside down and tap hard on surface to shake gel into bottle nozzle. Protect work from spills. I will try. They don't know who they're dealing with. Watch me super glue my fingers together or something. Upside down so it goes in the nozzle. Okay. Where are you? Heavens to Betsy. Tap hard on surface upside down. Should see my dog looking at me like, what are you doing, lady? Ooh, there we go. That might be too much. Ooh, makes me a little nervous. I'm gonna go like this. Whoop. Now we got it on 2 pieces. Okay. There's 1. There's 2. Oops, hope I have enough on this one. And what's the matter, Pearl? Did I disturb you with all of the noise I made? Is it a little upsetting? Mommy's being noisy? I'm sorry. We're going to need this in a little bit, so I'm going to keep that out. And there's the 3rd one. Nice. Okay, so that's that. Now, what we will do next is I was, from punching out those corners, I have that stuff everywhere. Now on one side, this side, I added a little extra aging ink to it. We're going to put this right here alongside the file folder. And I'm going to use the super glue for that as well. So I'm finding it really does not take much of this glue. But I do want to make sure it stays down really well. Okay. And I do believe I have that straight. I'll hold it down for a few seconds and then we'll let it dry on its own. Okay, now I wanted to tell you what I did with this frame. It started out this color here. And of course I wanted to age it up, but I wanted to try to bring the colors together, particularly of the book cover itself. So what I used to age it and grunge it up were these Ranger alcohol inks. And they come in a 3 set. I've used these before to make aged cellophane tape. So these are the colors caramel, ginger, and latte. So I don't think I used the latte. I think I just used caramel and ginger. And I first went in with caramel and I just lightly dabbed it around. And then I let the excess drip off. I laid it upside down on here and let it drip off. Then I had one of the punches from the corner rounder on there. Then I took the ginger color and spattered that on. I used the ginger. Number one, the caramel just gives it a more of an aged color. But the ginger I use because it has a red hue to it. And I like the fact that it brings the red from the book onto this piece. So what I want to do here first is, I might want to trim this up just a little bit. Just take a little shave off of her photo. She's got such a nice little smirk on her face. And we will next glue her on here. Now I think if I just use, you know what, I'm not going to chance it. I've got the super glue here. Why not use it, right? Why take chances when you can be confident? And again, this is not going to take a ton. Okay, let's get Mabel on here. And I'm hoping you can see me okay. I just put a little dab around the edges here. And now, what side do I want up? What side do I want down? I want that side down. There's Mabel. We'll let her dry. And then I'll show you how I want to lay this out. Now, before I go any further, I inked around the edge of this background cardstock with Vintage Photo. And then around the file folder, because it was darker and I wanted to make it pop off of that, I used black soot lightly around the edges of this file folder. So I just wanted you to know that. All right, so what we're going to do next, I'm adding this on just because I like the color, not because I'm trying to see the inside of the image, but solely for the effect of color. Nope, I want it like this. Now I want to, how did I do that before? Here's what I did. I cheated, I laid it all out and I took a picture. Sometimes that helps tremendously when you've got to lift your pieces off, and that's when I aged them and I did other things. I did the things. So I took pictures. And here's what it will look like. Okay, so I had this like so. Oh, I can hear my dog. She wants to come in. Bear with me a moment. All right, got the dog in the craft room. She's not feeling left out anymore. Poor thing. She is such a baby. I think I need to move these over. Yes. This needs to come up. This needs to come over. So we see the word Kodak there. And just looking at this now, I think I also want to distress the edges of this a little bit. Not a lot, just enough to make it look grungy. Perfect. Okay, so that goes like that. And then, remember the, I think it was this piece here was wrapped in this wax paper. Well, I took the wax paper and I crinkled it up. And I love the look that it gives. It almost looks like a spider's web. But I'm going to take advantage of that cool edge. And that goes like that. This will go here. Oops. And then my buttons. This will actually become our closure for the file folder. And I'm going to try to finagle putting this button on there, so then we can also wrap the book closed. That is not what I wanted. These are the guys I wanted. And then this goes up here. Oh wait, what did I have? See, this is why yeah, I did have him up here. And then these buttons I did put down here, only in the reverse. And then, did I decide? No, I just decided on this guy here. What I did here is Patty had included some little watch bits in this file, and I took some of them and I sprinkled them in here. Can you see? Where am I? So that's what that looks like. And I used yellow for the flower, so it tied in with the yellow on the slide. Oops. So that can go like that. Get back in there. I think I had this more like this before. Yes. Okay, so let's first glue those down, just because that'll be easier. And for the wax paper, I'm just going to use the Fabri-Tac. The nice thing about it is it dries clear, so you really won't be able to see it. But I want to make sure it will be stuck down really good, especially since this is the cover of the book. All right, and then let's glue these pieces down. Get my phone out of the way so I don't get super glue on it. But I love that little bit there. The other thing you could do if you wanted, I do have some itty bitty buttons. You could put a button inside. Maybe we'll do that yet. But let's get this on there. When you're using mixed media, trinkety bits, I'll call it, it is a good idea to have another kind of glue other than what we typically use for our paper crafting, just because oftentimes then I find I'm using metal bits. Here, I'm going to use my squeezers. And that way then, I don't think there's a front or back to this, it doesn't matter. That way then you know your pieces are going to stay. And I mentioned E6000 before as a really good glue. I chose this glue just because I haven't used E6000 for a while, but if I recall correctly, it's a little more runny, so I chose this one because it says it dries in like 10 seconds. All right, so now we've got that. I've got this little one in here, and I kind of like that. instead of, or do I still put that button there? Gosh, this is one of those times when I wish you could talk to me. Talk to me. I'll think about that one yet. We'll noodle on it. Okay, so next, let's get our transparency down. I think this glue will be all right for that. And I'm not squeezing out a bunch, I'm more so smushing it around. And the other reason why I wanted to use this glue is because it gives you a little move time. So I'm going to go back to my picture. That seems to be about the right height off. So then this, and then Mabel. This comes down farther. Okay. But this has been a really fun project because I usually don't work with, and no reason, I just don't. I don't work with mixed media, this many mixed media pieces together, and I really like it. So this might have started something for me. I think what I'll do next is to glue this down. So that will help me position Mabel because the edge of her frame kind of bumps up to that. I think we'll go like this. This one I think I'll use the super glue for again. Where'd it go? The Gorilla Glue. I'm glad I chose that yellow flower. I really like those colors together, and it just gives it it's not a distracting pop of color, but it's the perfect pop. Okay. Next, let's glue down the buttons down here before they go flying. Like my confidence in myself. I know myself too well. I love these old buttons because they're not perfect, so you know they're old. They're a little concave. I absolutely adore them. I just love buttons. Love me some good white buttons. Definitely putting this in there. I like it. I like it. We'll see how it sticks on the metal. I might have to come back and do the Gorilla Glue. All right, next up is Mabel. I'll put that glue away. I don't think I'll need it for this project anymore, for the cover anyway. All right, let's get our buddy Mabel on here. All right, friend, let's position you with our wing. So that will come like that. Yes. I just love it. It's very handsome. And I'm using this, Fabri-Tac would probably work on this, but it's a heavier frame. So I am using a little more of the Gorilla Glue on this because I want to make sure that that really sticks down there. I'm just going to hold it for a few seconds. But I can already tell that this, yeah, this ruler is stuck down good. This is good stuff. It might be a staple in my craft room now, especially if I start using more of these mixed media pieces. Yeah, these things aren't going anywhere. Awesome. There, Mabel, you're stuck. Now, here is what I had rolling around in my noodle for this. Let me clear the desk a little here. So yes, I wanted this to be able to slide up underneath the frame slightly, and it does. So what I want to do is, shoot, not what I wanted. Here it is. I've got this Sharpie pen, and I'm just going to pop a little hole here. Perfect. And get my crocodile. Now, I'm going to try using the handheld one. Let's see how this works. Is this the little one or the big one? Here's the little one. This handheld crocodile has 2 different size hole punches on it, which is fantastic. And I want this. Come on. I want this to come back further. But why is it grumbling with me? I think I'm being a wimp with it. But I don't, there we go. Okay. I've got to get this to how I can see what I'm working with here. And hopefully, ooh, this one's not, oh, maybe it is thick enough. Just barely. Now, where's my dot? I'm gonna have to turn my light here a little bit. You might have a little glare for a minute while I'm doing this because I'm just trying to see where my hole is. I believe it's there. There we go. Pearl, we did it. Look at, perfect. All right. So what I will be able to do then, and I'm gonna do this off camera, I believe, because I wasn't thinking and didn't get my wire out. But I'm going to actually use wire through this and wire this onto here. It's still going to wiggle, and I still want the space underneath it for a closure for the journal once I get going on the journal. But you see now what this will look like. Maybe I'll just find the wire and I'll be back and show you how I'm planning to do that. All right, I have my jewelry making supplies out here. I've got some wire. I don't know the gauge of this, and I couldn't even guess, but it's fairly thick stuff. I wanted it to be firm enough because, as I said, this is going to be a moving part a little bit. And not only that, but we're going to be tying something around this button here. So I want it to be fairly sturdy for whoever gets this journal. And so I'm going to cut off a length that is going to be longer than what I really need. Is this not my cutter? Yeah. Oh. All right. So what I want to do, totally miss that hole. How do I miss that? Oh my goodness. Are my eyes worse than I even thought? Holy cow. Okay, so I'm just going to pinch this And I'm going to come back in here with my little pliers and pinch it even tighter again. I want this to be very, very taut. And I'm going to twist it a little bit. There, that's good. Perfect. Just going to straighten it out a little. And then I'm going to come back in through the hole. I feel like you're watching, instead of paper crafting, you're watching Lisa's Metalworks today. This is going to be super fun. Okay, and then we need to twist this then on the inside of the book. And this is going to get covered up then with some end papers. So you won't see the wire. I'm just going to kind of mash it down. There we go. Now we can clip the ends of this. I'm going to bend it inward just a little so I know it's covered up well. And I'm going to keep it a little longer. That went flying somewhere. I see it. I don't want my dogs to pick it up. So that will get glued in there. And then here is our closure then. Ta-da! And there is our journal cover. Now, here's the last question. Do we put the other button here, or am I going overboard now? Or should I just do it like that? I kind of like it because it's this beautifully crackled button. And I think I am going to, you know what? No. Sometimes less is more and you need to know when to stop. And that can be hard. But I do like it. I like it a lot. It's like a little framed piece of artwork. And inside here, you can do some more journaling as well. And voila. There we go. We've got a journal cover. So we are good with this project. This was a little different for us, but I hope you had fun with it. I hope you got some new ideas to try, but use your little findings bits and use them in different ways than you ordinarily would. You might be quite surprised at what you find. If you like what you see, click the thumbs up, hit subscribe, join us again at Junk Journal Gems, and have a great day.